While Canada is looking forward to ridding themselves of Justin Trudeau, it looks like support for some of his favorite causes are also on the decline. It looks like Pride is on the chopping block. Ladies and gents, welcome back. I don't know how else to put this, but people are sick of it. They're tired of hearing about it. They're tired of having these things shoved down their throats, whether it's DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, or any of the woke nonsense. People are just absolutely done with it. And this is showing now when it comes to corporate sponsors. Here we are, Toronto Star publishing this article saying Toronto's Pride 2025 festival is in peril as large sponsors pull funding amid U.S. backlash against diversity. Now, of course, that is the headline from the Toronto Star. You would expect that from a left-wing, lefty publication. We've seen some of their front page news in the past, but this is where we're going to go with this. Let's go to maybe a more neutral source. This isn't left. This isn't very right. This is kind of somewhere in the middle. City News Toronto, probably more left, to be honest with you, but a little bit better than Toronto Star. Let's look at the headline here. Corporate sponsors pull support from Pride Toronto amid DEI backlash. Yes, there is DEI backlash going on. And the reality is people are just absolutely sick of it. Some corporate sponsors pull support from Toronto Pride amid DEI backlash. Pride Toronto says some of its major corporate sponsors have pulled support for this year's festival as the backlash towards diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives intensifies. With an interview with City News on Wednesday, Pride Toronto's executive director Kojo Sherwin-Modest said the festival is facing $300,000 funding shortfall. This is amazing. This is actually funny because this is the reality of the situation. Everything is moving away from woke, and it really, Pride in Canada, it used to be just about gay people looking for their rights, but then it got co-opted by a lot of other things. Now, this is Shannon D. Boshi posting about this on X, saying Pride is over. Wokeness ended it. If you had any semblance of support for this movement or whatever, for what it was historically, that's all out the window because wokeness definitely took it over and it became a thing specifically about that. Toronto Pride was corrupted and it lost when it was taken over by intersectional BLM activists back in 2017. If you don't recall that was when the Black Lives Matter thing was in its peak, and they took over and they kicked out police officers that were involved in Pride because police bad, the ACAB thing, the whole Marxist indoctrination thing that says all police officers are bad for whatever made up reasons. Now, a lot of those police officers were members of the LGBT community at the time. It created a big rift in that community, and it ruined what it was, and it's now become this big woke culture thing. Long ago lost its connection to its LGBT roots, says Shannon here, and it was taken over by TQ, fetishists and furries, the most deprived people, I would say, on the planet. And we're talking about people outside, and we saw news reports about this over the years, of people outside in public performing acts that I can't even mention on this platform. This is the kind of thing that was coming out of it. It was just debauchery. It was absolute debauchery. We don't want to see any more of that. And you know what? There's been some severe backlash even within the LGBT community. The people who started this whole thing in the first place are saying, forget it, want nothing to do with this. And this is why you see stuff like LGB without the TQ trending on X. You see this trending on social media, and people coming out, people original, pioneers in this space coming out against it. It's absolutely astonishing.
So here it is, the most unpopular opinion I'll ever do. I hope you guys duet and stitch and save or whatever you need to do to this because it's going to get down fast. If I would have understood when I was younger that fighting for my rights as a lesbian would mean allowing children to drag shows, attaching child molesters to our community, and allowing children to change their sex before they even know what their favorite color is, I would have never done it. Never.
That's astonishing. Would never have done it. And this is the sentiment on the ground. Now, in this article, you scroll right down to the bottom when the spokespeople says, without those sponsors, we will continue. We have many returning sponsors, so I think we'll survive the storm. Well, now that it's this big publication, this news is going to get out to a lot of these sponsors that are going to go, oh, wait, we still sponsor that? Oh, yeah, cut that funding, get out of that. We don't want to be associated with that, because being associated with that now is a brand liability. Really, at the end of the day, a lot of people are waking up to this stuff, and they're honestly looking at anything woke and saying, forget it. Not going to get into that. I don't want to buy into that kind of thing. And this is going across the board. It's even hitting the energy industry. Oil major BP to slash renewable spending and double down on fossil fuels in strategy reset. That's correct. BP on Wednesday announced that they plan to increase annual oil and gas investment to $10 billion through 2027. As part of a fundamental strategic reset. What does that mean? It means woke is gone. It means it's out of touch with the masses. It's out of touch with what's popular in culture. We see a Trump presidency. Why? Because people were tired of it. We see all the things that are happening right now across the board. Marty up north commenting on this, saying, it's all been lies, folks. Oil major BP to slash renewable spending and double down on fossil fuels in a strategy reset. There is no climate emergency. Green energy is a fallacy. Renewables will never work. Peak oil is a century away. They've been telling us it's just right around the corner since what, the 70s? Yeah, it never happened. The only thing that will eventually replace hydrocarbons is more nuclear. At least with the technology that we've got, we're not grabbing it out of the wind. We're not grabbing it from the sun. Not quite yet. Not even close. But this is the reality. And this is only the beginning of this. This is only the beginning. More of this to come as we see the world shifting away, and of course Canada largely slow to join along with the rest of the world. But this is still nonetheless happening in Canada. They're backing away from all of this stuff. But I absolutely love to hear what you guys have to say about this. We've seen this for too long, too much of this debauchery being forced on our families, on our children, on all the members of society, browbeaten into submit to not going against this stuff. And now it's all coming to a head. And look, this is the reality. Corporate sponsors, the money is going away, is drying up on this woke ideology. And when the money dries up, well, there's going to be a lot less fervent supporters of it moving forward. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. And of course, we'll see you tonight. With Rupa Subramanya on the podcast. Tune in at 6:30 Pacific. That's 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then. Keep on trucking.